Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a different video today. I wanted to show you guys some more of my talents, and we're going to be cooking a Valentine's Day dinner, okay? You can cook this for yourself or for you and another person. So we're going to be making lobster tails with a creamy Cajun shrimp sauce, asparagus, and some Parmesan mashed potatoes. Okay, so if you want to know how to make this, please stay tuned, and everything as far as the ingredients will be in the description box below. Okay, so first what we want to go ahead and do is we're going to get started on this asparagus. What I'm going to do first, of course, we want to take off the rubber bands that are on this asparagus. But we're going to basically cut them, of course, the ends. And then we're going to make sure we put them inside of a bowl with some water and vinegar. And that's why you see the bowl off to the side. So the art of cutting them, because it's so many, we want to make sure that we take them and put them in half. And that's going to be our waste bag right to the side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a very big knife. So we're just going to go ahead and part them in half just like I did here. We're going to spread them out, and we just want to cut the very ends, all right? We want to make sure we have as much asparagus as we possibly can because we need our vegetables. But we want to make sure we take off those hard ends, okay? And let's clean up while we do our cooking, and then we're just going to pop them right in the bowl, and then we're just going to make sure that we do it for the other half of our asparagus. So now let's go ahead and get started on these potatoes. I am using a bag of potatoes. You can just get the individuals if you would like. Totally up to you. If you want to do red potatoes, totally up to you. I'm only going to be using 4. This made a whole lot. I'm also making food for another person as well. So 4 was more than enough. And what I'm going to do is use this potato peeler, and I want to peel my potatoes. Now, you can leave the skin on if you would like. It's totally up to you. But if you decide to leave the skin on, please make sure that you wash your potatoes thoroughly. I don't feel like washing them, so I'm not going to leave the skins on. So I make sure I get all of the skin off completely. So this is going to basically be bare, okay? Bare. And then once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put the potato inside of a bowl with cool or cold water. And we're just going to do that, what I just did to the other 3. Alright, so now we want to go ahead and give our asparagus just a little whoosh, 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 okay? And we're going to transfer those onto a cast iron skillet. You can do a oven pan as well, doesn't matter. What we want to do is wash the asparagus off or rinse with some cool water just to kind of get the rest of the vinegar off. And then we're going to lay them in our cast iron skillet very flat, because this is the art of roasting them correctly, okay? So lay them as flat as you possibly can. Make sure none is overlapping or on top of another. So we want to go ahead and use our extra virgin olive oil. Oh, I'm getting tongue-tied here. And make sure that we also sprinkle some seasoning on our asparagus, okay? So I'm using salt. I'm going to use some pepper. I'm also going to use some white pepper. And if you don't have white pepper, you don't have to use it. And then I'm going to place some lemon juice on my asparagus. I don't like to over season asparagus. It tastes very, 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 very delicious just with a little bit of seasonings, okay? And then we're going to go ahead and make sure all of those are well incorporated and make sure we lay them flat back out. We're going to put this in the oven, I would say roughly 15 to 20 minutes. Eyeball it around 350. Now let's get working on our potatoes. So I'm just going to make sure that they're all inside of the water. I just kind of turned them a little bit. We're going to fill our pot up a little halfway, and it doesn't matter if it's cool or warm water. I do not season my water with salt. You can do so if you would like. I'm just not going to. And I'm just going to put my potatoes right into the pot. Now I'm going to put that on medium heat, and we're just going to eyeball that. Let's go ahead and get working on our seafood, the star of the show. So what you see here is you see a bigger bowl and then a smaller bowl. That smaller bowl, we're going to melt some butter. The bigger bowl is once we're done cleaning our shrimp, we're going to put our clean shrimp in that bowl. So we're going to go ahead and take our shrimp. I'm going to run cold water in the bag and then empty it. So we want to make sure we clean them thoroughly. First, I'm going to go ahead and peel it. And we're going to peel it all the way down to the tail and take the tail off. If you like to keep your tail on, go right ahead. I just don't like to do that because I do not want to stop just to take a tail off while I'm eating, okay? So I'm going to take the tail completely off. Now, what you want to make sure you do, please devein your shrimp, okay? Be very careful. Take a knife. You want to go ahead and break the back of the shrimp. You don't want to go all the way through. And we're just going to go ahead and take that nasty vein part out, okay? And then we're going to put that in our wastebasket because remember, we're going to clean while we're cooking. Once that's out, I gave my shrimp just another good rinse, and your shrimp should be clean just like this. And we're going to transfer it into that bigger bowl that we have on the side. And let's do that to all our shrimp. So these are the seasoning that I'm going to be using for our shrimp. Use any seasonings that you would like, but I'm going to use these, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and start off with is I'm going to start off with some lemon juice. Seafood and lemon juice go together like Tom and Jerry, like Mickey and Minnie, okay? Seafood and lemon juice is the wave, so don't skip out on your lemon juice. I'm going to put a little bit of my extra virgin olive oil just so I can get my seasonings to stick. And I'm going to start off with my garlic powder, my paprika, that's for color. Then we're going to go in with the Tony spice up because we want a little bit of that Cajun tang, okay? And then my onion powder. And then my pepper. And I'm also going to add some ground oregano. And I'm just going to incorporate all of those seasonings. And then I'm also going to go ahead and put this thyme leaf right on top. We're going to use that later. Now, let's get started on these lobster tails. I got this from my grocery store, and they were 3 in the box, and they were just for $19 for all 3. Can you believe that? Wow. So we're going to take 2 tablespoons of butter, go ahead and melt that, and then put that to the side. I'm taking my lobster tails out, give them a good rinse. Cool water is fine. And then I'm going to season my butter sauce. So the same exact seasoning that I did with the shrimp. And we're going to give that a nice little whisk. And so now we are going to butterfry our lobster tails. What you want to do is take some heavy duty scissors. I got these from the dollar store. They are scissors for cooking, okay? Do not use your scissors that you use for everything else. These are scissors for specifically cooking. So I'm sorry I didn't get the whole thing inside of the video. I was trying to do so and I thought I did, but what you're going to do is put your scissor right up against the back of the shell. Okay, once you find the back of that shell, go ahead and start cutting. You're going to start cutting and then it's going to stop you midway. Just keep continuing to cut. Once you've cut it all the way down to the tail, go ahead and break it from the bottom just to kind of get that meat to kind of come out a little bit. And we're going to stick our finger in between the back of the shell and in between the meat. And we're just going to go ahead and whirl it around just so we can get the meat to come out of that tail. And once you do this, you'll see it comes out a bit easier. And so we just want to keep on doing that, get the sides and everything till we get the meat completely out. Alright, once we got that meat completely out, there's like a little teeny thing in the front that we're just going to go ahead and break right with our finger, and we're going to get that butterfly right on top of that shell. Look how beautiful that is. Alright, so I only did that with 2 because once again I am cooking for someone else as well. So we can both have the same amount of shrimp. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this right down the middle, and this looked really nice when it came to presentation as well. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and season our lobster tails. First, we're going to go ahead and put that extra virgin olive oil on our lobster tails. Make sure when you do this, you also lift the lobster tail up underneath and you put the olive oil on that as well, okay? Because we want to make sure that we get extra virgin olive oil on the entire meat. And do not neglect the front of it as well. Now let's go ahead and season that baby up, okay? So I'm going to use some garlic powder, go in with some pepper, and then you know we can't forget the paprika for color. And then the complete season, if you don't have complete seasoning, go out and get it now, okay? Thank me later. This is just a whole lot of seasonings together and it just gives it such a great taste. Now let's go ahead and take our butter sauce and we're going to go ahead and just put that on our lobster tails. Make sure that you get up underneath of it and you make sure you put it in the front of the lobster tail as well. Okay, now we're going to transfer this to a pan, and I'm going to place this on the pan with a rack on it and place this right in the oven, 400 for 15 minutes. Make sure you check on this periodically, okay? Now let's get over to the stove. Now on the stove, what I have in this pan is 2 tablespoons of butter. And I'm going to place the shrimp right inside of this pan, okay? With that, I'm also going to add some more of that lemon meringue, would be love say. And I'm going to add a little bit more butter. I think I added a tablespoon more. And then this is where I'm going to put my thyme leaf. And I'm also going to add the full lemon in it as well. You're going to see a little bit later. So in the next pan, I put butter as well as lemon juice. This is where we're going to use this pan for our shrimp Cajun sauce. So I'm just whisking the lemon juice and the butter together. And we want to make sure we're checking on those potatoes. Don't forget about those potatoes, y'all. Alright, so I'm going to add me some heavy whipping cream because this is going to be the base of our Cajun sauce, okay? When I first started, I think I put about 1.5 cups in it. But put as much as you want because depending on who you're cooking for, that's how much you want to actually put in the pan. And then I just want to make sure that I'm whisking that as I go along to incorporate all of the flavors together. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and give my shrimp, my lemon, and my thyme leaf a good mixing around. And then you're going to make sure that this cooks for roughly about 3 to 4 minutes. Y'all know shrimp can cook real fast, so don't leave it. And look at that. All of those flavors are just getting incorporated in that shrimp. I'm telling you, it is going to be delicious. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and, as you see, I'm just letting that Cajun sauce boil. Now I'm transferring my shrimp to another bowl. Do not use the bowl we just had in there because that was raw shrimp, okay? I'm going to take my unsalted chicken broth, and the reason why I got unsalted because I'm going to be seasoning my Cajun sauce, and I don't want too much salt. But you do what you want. Alright, so let me go on my seasons. I'm going in with garlic powder, onion powder. I'm going in with my paprika, my black pepper, I'm going in with that Tony spice, and then I'm going to whisk all of those together. Make sure you're whisking the sides as well. We don't want any of that seasoning, that goodness sticking to the sides of our pan, okay? Once you give this a really good whisk, you're going to leave it alone for a little bit just so it can bubble because we want this to condense but not too thick. And our lobsters are done. Look how good that looks, you guys. And I'm telling you, it's going to taste even better. So what I'm going to do while that is hot, I'm just going to add a slither of butter to each of the tail. And I'm going to pop that lemon juice right on top of it just so I can have the most delicate and decadent taste. Alright, so our sauce is pretty much basically done. I removed it from the heat because now I'm going to be adding my Parmesan cheese. We don't want to add cheese while it's on the stove cooking. Alright? Add as much as you want, add as little as you want. I eyeballed it so I don't have the measurements for the Parmesan cheese. I didn't add as much because I'm going to also be adding it in my mashed potatoes. But you do what you like. And then I'm adding that shrimp and all that butter right into the sauce. And we're just going to go ahead and mix that up. And our Cajun sauce is complete, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and put that to the side. Let's get working on these mashed potatoes, y'all. We are almost at the finish line. Mashed potatoes is nice and done. If you can put a fork through it, well, I'm using a spatula. If whatever you're using, you can put it through it, it's done. So I just basically broke it up into chunks. I'm going to go ahead and get my seasoning. So I season with salt. Rosemary and potatoes go together so well. I did garlic powder, and then I'm also going to go ahead and do some pepper as well. Okay. I also made sure I'm using a spoon now. I'm going to put a little bit of that chicken broth in. I probably put maybe 1/4 cup. Okay, we just want to put enough chicken broth in there just so we can kind of stir it around. Now here's the fun part, the whipping cream. Now you guys, I have no measurements for this. You want to put as much in there as you want. The more whipping cream you place in there, the creamier your mashed potatoes will be. So you'll see me adding it, stirring it, adding a little bit more, stirring it until it gets to the creamy consistency that I want. All right, so that is good enough for me. I'm just going to go in and add a little bit more of my seasonings. You want to at that point taste and see if you need to add more or less. And here come the complete, y'all. I'm telling you, y'all gonna love me when y'all try this complete. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add my Parmesan cheese. I add just about a handful. Add as much or as little as you want, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stir that up. You guys, we are completely done with our food. And we'll be having a nice red wine tonight for our dinner. Mi Amor, my love. Red is a sweet wine that has a dry finish. Just like the two lovebirds on the front of the label, the unique bouquet and style will win you over. Open a bottle of Mi Amor Red and fall in love again.